A creature from the deep that washed ashore in Ocean County, New Jersey had people asking, what is it? Well, it turned out to be a type of fish that dates back to prehistoric times.
A lot of people are talking about this, a lot of people. Take a look at your screen right now. This is what a man named Jeff Warren says he found on Wolf Island Friday.
Animal mystery that has a lot of people scratching their heads and grossing them out. The body of this creature washed ashore along the East River. So what exactly is it?
I've stumbled across something weird. Look at it.
How weird is that?
Our world is full of animals that have turned the seemingly impossible concept of immortality into a real thing.
Look at this. He's still alive.
From living beyond the end, fighting against all odds, to being so resilient that no one dares to mess with them.
He is not letting go of that gun.
Get ready to witness the creatures whose survival has no limits.
Oh my.
How isn't that dead?
Oh my.
My knife is literally in its brain.
For me, fish have to be one of the most resilient animals on our planet. And I'm pretty sure you'll agree after watching this video. Swimming normally with a huge chunk missing from their bodies, these poor aquatic animals probably faced a predator twice their size, yet still managed to splash away with their lives. Looks like a miracle, but there's a secret logic behind this. Sometimes during an attack, their vital organs remain unharmed and functional, hence keeping them alive and helping them survive for some time more. Now, this one literally sends some chills down my spine. I mean, look how perfectly this fish is swimming, even when missing its whole head. Immortal serpent. Snakes are widely feared by people and animals, and why shouldn't they be? Their creepy looks and dangerous fangs have helped them earn this reputation. On top of that, these slithering reptiles even possess the ability to stay alive even without a head. Look at this man! He thought he could get rid of a copperhead snake by separating his head from the body to ensure his child's safety, but the snake was not ready to give up on life.
Look at this. He's still alive.
And it's not just the body that stays alive. Even when the head is separated from the body, it is perfectly capable of reacting to stimuli. And if you don't stay careful, it can and will inject those creepy fangs whenever it gets the chance. This is possible because snakes have a decentralized nervous system with clusters of nerve cells located throughout their bodies. And since they are cold-blooded animals, snakes don't need to internally maintain their body temperature, enabling them to live even for hours without a head. Wolffish. If you thought fish become harmless outside of the water, be prepared to be proven wrong. This is the ever-famous wolffish, and they can be pretty hostile even after spending hours out of their natural habitat. It has earned a fearsome reputation due to its devil-like appearance, which lets you know it is a true predator of the sea. These jaws are used to eat hard-shelled and spiny invertebrates, and they are feared among the fishermen on the surface as well. Even though wolffish cannot eat them with its powerful jaws, it is perfectly capable of doing this. This is the exact reason fishermen do not go near those creepy teeth, even after the fish has been caught for hours or even decapitated. And no, it does not happen because this creepy-looking fish is alive. The secret lies in the muscles in the fish's mouth that are triggered by a sensory neuron, which activates the jaws every time something is placed in the fish's mouth. So, if you ever find this, just make sure not to play around with anything too delicate. Indian red scorpion. The Indian red scorpion stands out as a true marvel. This small yet mighty arachnid, hailing from the Indian subcontinent, packs a punch far beyond its size. Its venom is so potent that it's considered one of the most dangerous scorpions in the world. But here's the fascinating part. This lethal power grants it a unique status in the animal kingdom. Most predators wisely give it a wide berth, understanding that a confrontation with this scorpion is not worth the risk. This incredible survival strategy showcases that in nature, even the smallest creature can command respect through sheer defensive powers. Even when face to face with a predator, the Indian red scorpion acts with confidence, virtually unchallenged because of its highly potent venom. Snapping turtle still snapping. Looks like snapping turtles have taken the term death grip a bit too seriously. These majestic reptiles are widely found in almost any permanent or semi-permanent body of water around the world, and they are mostly famous for their impressive bite force. These turtles have a nasty snapping power that they use when threatened or provoked. But here's the interesting part. The reptile does not lose its snapping abilities even after losing its body. This man tried testing how the turtle would react if it had nobody, and it did not disappoint.
That guy's clamping on harder than he ever has before. He is not letting go of that guardhouse.
The turtle had not lost its charm and was still snapping at the slightest stimuli. It's all a display of muscle memory that the reptile exhibits interestingly. So, you better save your fingers, even from a separated head. Regenerative powers. Salamanders have always fascinated me with their exquisite colors and patterns. Yet, there's another fact about these amphibians which truly blew me away. Their regenerative powers. It means that they can grow back any part of their body if they ever lose it. Like this one lost its leg to a curious dog, but wasn't even a problem for him, as growing a leg back is a piece of cake for salamanders. It managed to get a perfectly functioning limb in almost 30 days. Here's how they do it. First, they cover the area with new skin. And next comes the really cool part. Cells in the area start to de-differentiate, meaning they take up the stem cells role. The cells in the blastema start dividing rapidly, guided by chemical signals and genetic instructions. And within a month, the salamander regains the ability to use its new limb, just like the old one. Zombie insect. I'm pretty sure this looks like the perfect opening scene for a zombie apocalypse. Is it really the end of time? Should we all get ready for it? Well, you don't have to freak out. For now. The world's not coming to an end, except for this poor insect. These zombie insects move around with hollow bodies that are not actually controlled by the organism, but they were hijacked by a parasitic creature called cordyceps. It's a group of fungi that have a rather fascinating way of taking over others. A tiny spore from the cordyceps fungus lands on an unsuspecting insect and quietly starts feeding off of it. Once it's done, it slowly takes control of the insect that might appear normal, going about its daily activities. But inside, the cordyceps is in control, manipulating its behavior. And by the time it's done with its evil plans, that fungus moves on to find another victim. Dancing squid. If you've ever had the experience of dining at a Japanese restaurant, you just might have seen a dish like this. Now, when I first saw it, I thought that these people were willing to munch on a live squid, and I'm pretty sure anyone would have thought that way. I mean, just look at it move. In reality, it's not raw at all, and is actually perfectly cooked. The uncanny movement happens when soy sauce pours on the muscles, and the salt triggers twitching in them. I guess the sauce is literally getting on its nerves. Dangerous seafood. If you're a seafood lover, you might change your mind after watching this video. These fish were noticed to be acting quite alive, even after spending hours out of the water and losing major parts. It's like they were saying, "Hey, I'm not done yet!" But what if I told you there's a very scientific and logical explanation for this? And it's called their reflex action. It's a survival instinct in which the nerves in the fish's spinal cord keep functioning, causing the muscles to contract and react to stimuli. So, if your fish ever starts wobbling on its own, no need to worry. It's just a reflex action. Mantis shrimp. Here's a seemingly small and timid-looking crustacean. And let me warn you, don't be fooled by those pretty looks. These shrimps possess the power to punch their opponents at speeds up to 110 kilometers per hour. The impact gets so strong that it creates enough heat at one place that's equivalent to the temperature of the sun for nanoseconds. One blow is enough to teach anyone how to maintain a distance from mantis shrimps. They even take on predators double their size, like this octopus. I guess it didn't know about the immense power of this little guy. And there it is. One flaming strike to the head was enough to make the octopus's 8 brains start working again. Some people keep these devils in their tanks, but even here, they hold up to their reputation of having the strongest punches in the whole of the water world. Stonefish.
We are searching these tide pools off the coast of Eastern Australia for the most toxic fish on the planet.
These are not mere stones. You're looking at the most venomous fish in the world. Stonefish are perfectly capable of hiding in the sand in a way that no ordinary person or fish can detect them. And on top of that, these undetectable fish carry the most potent venom in the dorsal fin spines that can pierce through almost anything. Once it enters the body, it causes severe pain, swelling, necrosis, and might send you back to your lord. Luckily, stonefish prefer to stay hiding in the ocean floor and don't move around a lot. But next time you go to the beach, make sure you stay away from all and any rocks. Leopard gecko. If you own a leopard gecko, you might have seen them lose their tails quite often. And even if it seems like they're getting in trouble because of this, or it's something bad, that's actually natural for them. In the wild, they drop their tails whenever they feel threatened to confuse their opponents. And if you're wondering, they don't feel pain in doing so. Typically, the tail regrows in 30 days, which acts just like the previous one. If humans could do that too, you'd probably find me missing some limbs every now and again. Zombie deer.
So-called zombie deer have now been spotted in 13 Ohio counties.
Locals in Ohio started noticing an odd zombie-like behavior in the deer inhabiting the area, and it oddly looks and feels like an outbreak of an upcoming zombie apocalypse. The animals were seen walking in circles, covered with odd cysts all over their bodies, and even lost fear of humans. All of these were clear symptoms of being infected with the EHD virus that is transmitted with biting midges and tiny insects called no-see-ums. The virus affects the blood vessels of deer and causes disorientation or weakness in the animal. Luckily, the virus had affected only the deer population, but scientists found out it had chances of damaging humans as well. It really sounds like the opening of a horror movie. Stubborn cockroach. Alright, this next one will not cause any physical pain, but it sure will stay around to give you some nightmares. Cockroaches are arguably one of the most hated insects worldwide, but the worst part about them is their immortality. I'm pretty sure you must have heard how hard it is to get rid of these creepy crawlies. I mean, just look at this one. Even after getting separated from its head, the cockroach still managed to move those antennas and its legs. And here's another one trying to make its way to the gutters after getting split in half. But what's giving these insects this superpower to withstand even an apocalypse? Well, the secret lies in their hard exoskeleton and their decentralized nervous system, which enables them to walk around like nothing even happened. Man, I guess we better get a different tool ready to get rid of them. Hollywood snake. While all these snakes possess such reflex actions, some species try to dodge the Grim Reaper with other kinds of tactics. These are hognose snakes, and even though they look all scary, they prefer not to get involved in a fight. They do produce a mild venom, but that's not any type of threat to others. Then how do they protect themselves? Well, nature has designed every being with unique abilities, and these serpents also fake their demise by fooling predators. Whenever they feel threatened, hognose snakes pretend to be lifeless, causing the predator to lose interest and leave the serpent alone. Look at how this little snake manages to immobilize itself, just as if it has passed away. I must say, they deserve an Oscar for that performance. Headless wasp. If the loathing feels of an undying cockroach were not enough, here's something else to amplify your sphexophobia. I'm pretty sure many of us are afraid of wasps. And I recently learned something that only adds to their deadly reputation. These tiny bugs are perfectly capable of functioning even after losing their heads. Yeah, as if the painful stings and creepy looks weren't enough, Mother Nature decided to make wasps immortal as well. Look at this one. It's literally picking up its own head to show others how it walked out of a seemingly impossible situation. Although it looks like a scene out of some horror movie, there is a biological explanation behind it. They're able to pull off this horrifying miracle because of their decentralized nervous systems, meaning that some neural activity can persist in parts of the body even after decapitation. Scary, yet impressive, isn't it? Planaria. Size is not the only thing that makes one a hero, or is needed to pull off life-saving miracles. These tiny critters also dodge the Grim Reaper daily. Planaria have the amazing ability to regrow, even after being cut into pieces. Sounds cool, right? This is possible thanks to their stem cells that get the signal to regenerate from a specific gene. It's almost like being immortal. Planaria, or flatworms, are found in abundance in nature. They inhabit different aquatic habitats and stay on the surfaces and undersides of rocks in slow-moving water. Even scientists have been intrigued by the superb regenerative abilities that enable them to grow into a fully functioning organism from just a single piece. They've even been performing different experiments to find out which gene causes this superpower, so that maybe someday it might be incorporated into humans. Zombie praying mantis. Mating can be the most complicated activity for male praying mantis, as they can literally lose their heads during it. These two had successfully mated, and the male was fully functioning even after 24 hours. Now, that's some next-level commitment right there. These insects are widely found in the warmer regions, particularly tropical and subtropical latitudes, and I'm pretty sure everyone has heard of them. But did you know that the life of males is tougher than females in these species, as females devour their partner's head, which actually provides them the much-needed nutrients needed for babies. Normally, the male either falls off or flies away, but this one was still clinging onto its partner. It can occasionally happen if some of the neurons are left intact and keep the body functioning. Survivor Solomon fish. You don't always need regenerative powers or life after expiration to be strong. The Solomon fish prove that even exhibiting strength can make them the toughest creatures. In October 2013, a fisherman followed a harrowing stench near the riverbank and found this Solomon seemingly still alive. Now, by the looks of it, it seemed like the fish must have perished a long time ago, but it was still moving and fighting for life. Mostly, this happens after the Solomons are done mating. These fish try to lay eggs in the same place where they were born, and for that, they have to swim upstream. Sounds like a pretty intense reunion for the parents. Solomons use almost all of their body strength to defy the rules of physics to make their way to their spawning site. Once the eggs are laid, they've completed their ultimate task of life, and then start deteriorating internally. Eventually, Solomons turn into this state, looking like zombies. But it shows how resilient nature can be when it comes to bringing new life into the world. Tardigrades. I know we all think of something big when the strongest creature comes to mind, but the ultimate strength is present in a super tiny critter called a tardigrade, or a water bear. No matter where you go on Earth, these creatures are everywhere, from the top of the Himalayan mountain ranges to the bottom of the sea, from icy Antarctica to bubbling hot springs. These creatures can withstand the most extreme temperatures from negative 328 degrees Fahrenheit up to 304 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's not all. From high pressures, radiation, and the vacuum of space, these microscopic creatures can literally take on anything. Here's how they do it. Tardigrades undergo a process called cryptobiosis, in which they bring all metabolic processes nearly to a halt. Other than that, it can also almost completely dehydrate to about 3% or so of its normal water content, and can survive for a decade in that state. So no matter what you do, water bears will come out of it alive. Volcano snails. Now, we've seen different animals with varying different strengths, but now here's a tiny but mighty critter that can take on the toughest of situations like they were pieces of cake. These are scaly food gastropods, and they live in the most unimaginable place on Earth, underwater volcanoes. When scientists were exploring these hostile environments, they had no hope of finding life in the area. But these snails defied all odds and showed them that life always finds a way. Let's see how the volcano snails manage to live in high pressures and temperatures as high as 700 degrees Fahrenheit. This tiny critter thrives in the hydrothermal vents thanks to its iron sulfide shell and scales. The hard exoskeleton protects the creature from extreme conditions and makes it invincible to acidic conditions as well. Now that's what we call some real strength. Miracle Mike. Mike the Headless Chicken has to be one of the most famous chickens across the world, and his story has eluded people since 1945. The story began with a farmer, Lloyd Olson, in Colorado, who went to his farm to get a chicken for dinner. But this particular one was not willing to give up on life that easily. Although Mike lost his head, he managed to roam around the farm for another 18 months. During this time, he would peck for food, roam around with others, and was one of the first chickens to dodge death. But how did the bird manage to live for so long? Well, rumors spread stating scientists surgically removed the heads of many other chickens to see whether any would live. However, the reason was later revealed by the couple, who confessed that while decapitating Mike, they missed the jugular and the brainstem was left intact, which kept him clucking even in the absence of a head. Although creepy and weird, Mike, in no time, became a sensation among the masses. Volcano shark. The scalyfoot gastropod is accompanied by another surprising creature roaming in the depths.
Hey,
Something there.
shadow of something. There's something off.
Sharks! Yeah, you heard me right. A group of researchers were exploring the remote submarine volcano named Kavachi near the Solomon Islands in search of hydrothermal activity. But instead, their cameras captured something truly unbelievable. 6-gill stingrays, hammerheads, and silky sharks were living inside the caldera of the volcano, an environment previously thought to be uninhabitable during eruptions. The expedition initially focused on the volcanic study and concluded with new, intriguing biological questions. Alaskan wood frog.
This one's legs are frozen up, and it's very hard and crunchy.
While we're talking about enduring extreme conditions, it's a must to mention Alaskan wood frogs. These seemingly simple-looking amphibians are hiding an impressive trick up their skin to survive in the Alaskan cold. Many animals use the typical hibernation technique to live during the freezing temperatures, but this critter is different from others. It literally turns into a frog popsicle and stops living throughout the winters. Even the heart stops beating at this time. Most of the animals would not survive such methods, but the Alaskan wood frog has adapted specifically to do this. Their bodies produce a special antifreeze substance that prevents ice from freezing within their cells. And once spring arrives, they come back to life with proper functioning bodies, ready to explore the world around them. Giant tube worms.
Yes, we found it. And then this huge chimney comes into view, and it's just packed with giant tube worms.
I always thought not many living things could survive near the hydrothermal vents. Yet, here we have another stubborn critter that has managed to live even in the harshest times. Even when the towering chimneys spew hot, mineral-laden water out of the deep sea floor, the tube worms here have adapted to thrive in these conditions. These simple creatures are living without a mouth, gut, or any complicated systems. They just have a simple, bright red structure which they use for gas exchange. Now, you must be thinking, well, how do they eat? Well, tube worms have sorted that out too. They take minerals from the water and provide it to the bacteria living in their stomach, which further breaks them down and feeds them. So, it's a win-win situation for both parties. Honey badger. Some animals are so resilient that they become almost impossible to defeat them in a fight, and honey badgers most definitely belong on this list. Don't be fooled by their small size and those cute looks. These feisty animals can give a tough time even to the kings of the jungle. In different instances, honey badgers are seen fighting off predators that are twice their size. This list of animals that had repeatedly gotten served surprisingly includes leopards, hyenas, and yes, the most feared of all, lions. The secret to handling all of these opponents lies in their fearless and tough personalities that enable them to come up with an aggressive defense. Other than that, Mother Nature has given them some perks as well. Their extra thick skin makes them almost invincible to the strong jaws. Plus, they are somewhat immune to different kinds of venom. Now, these badgers sound like a hard target, right? Well, with the perfect blend of fearless nature, venom immunity, and thick skin, they are easily hard to consume for a majority of animals. Hippopotamus. Another animal that gives a tough time to even apex predators is the hippopotamus. And why wouldn't they fear it? These colossal creatures weigh up to 3,000 kilograms, are equipped with jaws that can open nearly 180 degrees and snap shut with some brilliant force. These giants are known to be so territorial that even lions fear crossing a river inhabited by them. Want to see what they do to the trespassers? Yup, those lions will be staying away from that water for a long time. Even alligators are not free from the wrath of a hippo, like this unlucky one who walked into a whole family of hippos. Now I know why they always try to keep a safe distance from them. Woo! Their highly territorial and unpredictable nature makes them one of Africa's most dangerous animals, both for the savanna and humans. Poisonous dart frogs. In the lush rainforests of Colombia, the golden dart frog holds the title of one of nature's most astonishing paradoxes. This tiny amphibian, dazzling in its vibrant yellow hue, comes in different colors. And the most feared one is the golden dart frog. But don't let its beauty fool you. It is armed with a secret weapon. A toxin sits on its skin that's so lethal that just a few micrograms, less than a grain of salt, is enough to take down the most daring of predators. Imagine this, it is even more dangerous than the Indian taipan snake. The frog's mere presence is a warning in the wild. Do not touch, which makes it a hard target for almost every predator. It's time for today's open discussion. Patrick South, along with his friend, had planned on getting their hands on something interesting for dinner, and their choice of food was kinda something straight out of the depths of hell. This courageous guy picked up his spearfishing rod and went to Maui, Hawaii to get a moray eel. They live in the crevices and are never visible until they peek out their heads from under the rocky terrain. These strong, fearsome, and very toothy creatures have earned quite some reputation, and the looks are not the only scary part. It is a powerful bite, which is strong enough to even incapacitate its prey. Just look at this one. Even after getting caught with those spears, the moray was not willing to give up on its own life.
Oh my!
Get it. Try to get it. You got it?
Now that is a strong fish right there.
Oh my!
How is it not dead?
Oh my!
My knife is literally in its brain.
And would never try catching one with a spear.
Oh my god. Ow, it's got the camera. Okay.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.